So in the past, I had some bad habits like video games, like wasting time on the internet, and at that point, at a certain point, I just quit them for a certain method that I actually began using, even without realizing. So that method was basically having something in your life that is so much more interesting and exciting for you that you literally don't even need or want the bad habits. Because think about it. I realized, okay, all these bad habits pull me away from my goals. I don't want that. And even though they feel pleasurable, you do them because you want to feel better. Long term, that's not happiness because it leads to regret, and not just regret, but your dopamine levels are messed up. It raises up fast. This spike of dopamine. You feel pleasurable from playing those video games, watching that pornography, or whatever you do, wasting time on the internet, eating that junk food. But then your dopamine levels go straight down and even below the base level that they were at. So that means you will feel worse. Your dopamine levels are messed up. Listening too much to music and so on. But then I just began hearing way more about self improvement, self development, watching certain YouTubers, and that helped me a lot with my habits, with my life in general, to feel way better with my mental health. I began to feel way better, and I also began caring about entrepreneurship and online business, like money type of stuff, and developing oneself and all that kind of stuff, right? And because I had those certain goals and well, fair enough, areas, and I have certain had and still have certain goals in them, right? Because of all that, I was way more focused on that. And even though the pleasurable habits are pleasurable, the bad habits, the goal is more important, even by a little. If by a little, it will win. You will win over the bad habits at the point at which you have something that is way more important and way more interesting in your life than them. That's literally how you do it. Because think about it. Why do you do bad habits? Because it's a fast resource of pleasure. It's not happiness. Don't confuse it. Pleasure is not happiness because you feel worse after that. That's not happiness. So don't confuse it. So if we have do these bad habits because they feel pleasurable, what if we just make our life so interesting to the point at which we don't even want to do the bad habits because we don't need that pleasure anymore. We have long-term happiness and fulfillment, right? And this comes from good habits. This comes from living your life in such a better manner. And you might say, oh, but Sebastian, I tried this, I tried that, it didn't work. I just tried to quit these bad habits. Look, we all mess up, but there are certain systems that you can literally use to fix this, and I will tell you some more things that helped me in a bit. And by the way, if you need a more in-depth plan on how to quit these bad habits, if you want one-to-one help with me, check first link in the description. Let's book a call and let me help you out. But now back on the video. Look, bro, what you need to do, a massive thing, right, is to just take a break from these bad habits. Look, if you cannot quit cold turkey and never return back to it again, but slowly quitting it, look what happens, right? When you take a break from all these bad habits, whatever you do, your dopamine levels will start to regulate again and will finally be good again. So therefore, you will feel way better because yes, that experience can feel so good, so pleasurable, right? Eating that junk food, listening to that whatever music too much and too loud, and playing those video games. You feel good in the moment, you feel great, but then after that, you feel so sad. You just feel sad, you feel bored, you feel maybe even depressed. And that's because your dopamine levels spiked up and then bam, went right back down and even lower than they were originally. So obviously, this matches the spike. The low matches the spike, and also it shows how you feel, at what level of emotion and mood you are in that exact moment. So thing is, when you take a break from all these, and of course you will quit them at some point, maybe even cold turkey, just like that, like I did with video games. Well, man, it might seem scary at the beginning. You might think like, oh, but what else to do? I just don't know. Look, go to the gym, have some good habits, find some interesting stuff to do, some new skill to learn. Do I know? Maybe look into entrepreneurship, some other aspects of self-development, playing an instrument. I play guitar, for example, and so many more things. Attempt new stuff. Literally, I don't know. Go join a, a martial arts club if you want to, or something. Point is, we gotta stay away from these bad habits so that our dopamine levels can regulate. And this can take maybe a couple days, perhaps, for them to fully be back in not in stock, but at optimal levels, at good optimal levels. So you'll feel exponentially better after that. Now that doesn't mean you can just go and do those bad habits again because oh now I feel good. I feel good now, so I can just go and do them no problem because I don't feel sad anymore. That doesn't mean that. No, you stay away from them. That's the thing. Look, I like music, right? I like certain aspects of it, and I didn't quit it fully. Like, you don't need to do that with music, at least, except if it's demonic music, ungodly, or some degenerate type stuff. In that case, quit it. Obviously, accept God, accept Jesus. Amen. Point is, look, for example, with music, right? I want to do a music detox, and through these past days, I've been listening consciously, deliberately, in terms of what I chose. I listened way less to music compared to, I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, or something. And I can tell you, it's a massive difference. It's a massive difference. And I've been doing this. Well, fair enough, I had that period, but then I think a couple months back or a year back, I had also a huge break from music. Maybe didn't even listen to it for like months or so. But obviously, you hear it in YouTube videos and whatever. But in terms of when you put it yourself to listen to it, right? That's what I'm talking about. I took a break from that for a good while, maybe like a couple months or so, like not even interested in that. And I felt so much better. It almost felt like, yeah, finally, right? Because you don't feel that it doesn't control your emotions and trying to make them go like this, because that's what happens. You have that spike and then you feel so bad. I remember one time when I was walking at my grandparents' in the village, right? Nature, beautiful. So there's this country road and hills in this part, in that part, and I even have them in some videos of mine. And so I'm walking through there. I'm putting music at the at, blast volume or something, and man, I just feel amazing in the moment. I feel absolutely awesome. But then guess what happens after? I feel so sad. I mean, I wasn't necessarily depressed, but man, it was such a way lower type of frequency of mood. It was not that good. I felt kind of sad, bored, boring, and nothing else nothing seemed interesting anymore. And I was like, what is this? Weird stuff, right? That's what you do with basically all your bad habits, man. You gotta quit them, and literally it will feel hard at the beginning. Like perhaps it felt a bit scary at the beginning with me with video games, right? When I quit them like 2 years ago or more than that. Three, do I know? And I just did that. Went cold turkey, and fair enough. Lucky me, I've been learning about some self development stuff, and I've been implementing certain habits like journaling, meditation, working out, and all that stuff. And of course, I had some other stuff to do because otherwise, if you don't have anything to work on or to do, you will naturally go back to those bad habits. So you gotta fill that time with something. You gotta make yourself a schedule in Google Calendar. Look, I've been going on and off my schedule recently, and man, to be honest, every time I go to the conclusion, like, man, I actually need it, and I keep getting back to it, and I realize, yeah, it's actually important, and it is. Look, having a schedule will literally help you to manage your things so much better, right? You know, when to do each and everything. You go to the gym at this time, you learn at this time from this podcast, from this book. You go to sleep on this time, you wake up at this time, and you have 8 hours or whatever of sleep. You have some free time, maybe with the family or something at this time. You stuff like that, right? And it just helps. It helps also with the stuff you don't want to do but you gotta do, some whatever tasks. You can just schedule them in, and that's the thing, because you can schedule it, you can choose the time for doing that thing. And thing is, it's Parkinson's law, you can do it faster. That's what I mean. So in terms of productive tasks, in terms of tasks you don't like, you can just do them way faster by just simply putting a time limit on how much you want it to take, right? Now another thing is having this T graph or whatever it's called, right? So I learned this somewhat today, basically, and I used it for like 3 examples of mine or so, and it looks like this basically. Sorry if you don't understand my handwriting, but basically, it's this graph in which is shown, okay, what I lose and what I gain, and what exactly. I mean, for example, giving up whatever habit you have, a bad habit you have, right? So let's say giving up being late, because I had that bad habit, right? And I definitely don't want to have it anymore. When I go to school or meet someone, I don't want to be late. I don't want to, right? So what I lose by giving up this and basically being early wherever I go, what I lose is potentially more time working on whatever, the business or self-development. Because I have this thing, man, in the morning, for example, right? I just try to squeeze each and every minute to work on certain goals of mine. And I'm thinking, man, okay, I gotta go to school, I gotta go to this place, but I want to put a bit, okay, 5 more minutes in, 10 more minutes in. And that's a bad habit, because I'm not ready yet to, leave the house and go arrive there in time, and especially earlier, and therefore being late many times, which I absolutely hate, right? It's also, you might think, oh, but moving at your own pace is calm, it's fine, it gives you peace. No, it doesn't, because after that you feel disgust with yourself, and you lose confidence, and you lose this peace, because you just feel stressed, because you absolutely hate this stuff, the fact that you're late or whatever bad habit you have. So another thing is, right, what's another thing? Um another thing of mine was giving up time wasting and instead using a schedule, because I've told you recently I went on and off using one, but I actually realized again and again and again, okay, I actually need one to make sure I get fully done all the things that I planned in the day for myself to do, to get done and be in bed, at the time that I need to be, and also perhaps have more time, whatever, of the family or doing this and that. Point is, look, so I wrote here, what do I lose by giving up time wasting and instead having a schedule, right? So what I wrote here at what do I lose? The slight feeling of freedom of time and time freedom that I had, basically, I felt like I would lose this time freedom feeling, because I can just do whatever I want whenever I want, pretty much. But that was not actually the best thing, because even though it felt kind of nice, I just didn't manage to complete certain things fast enough, certain good habits, like for example, meditation, or for example, other non-negotiables that I have in this non-negotiable journal, right? So all these ticks, right? What else do I have here? Like stretching, meditation, journaling, and some more things that I should do way earlier in the day, but because I was just focused on, for example, learning a bunch of stuff from from Hamza's school community, because I am interested in entrepreneurship and self-development, for example, right? Or it can be something else. Well, because of that, obviously, I kind of pushed these later and kind of went overboard with my bedtime and this and that, which is not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all, and I absolutely hate it. And it doesn't give you this inner peace. You have it in a moment, but then when you mess up on quite some things and don't get them done fast enough, you feel like trash. That's the thing. And what do I gain from what did I write in the what do I gain category was, okay, I get that amazing feeling of productivity. And for example, I remember somewhat recently, maybe a week ago, to I don't know, I made a schedule or updated my schedule back then, and I put this time go to the gym, this time go eat, this time go learn, this time go to the gym. That's what it was. I don't remember exactly the hour, maybe like 12 p.m. or 2 p.m. And yeah, I just went and did that. Okay, learn from Adorno School, from Hamza's program or whatever. Um, from this time to this time, maybe, if I'm correct, maybe 12 to 2 p.m. or something. And then at 2 p.m. go to the gym, hit a workout and this and that. After I completed the learning stuff and then preparing to go to the gym and following exactly my straight routine that I've made for myself, man, I felt so good, feeling an awesome feeling of productivity. And it felt so good. And you're also in control. You have this feeling of control that, okay, I control my time. And by the way, you can either way change things through the day in your schedule to make, if you really don't want to do this thing now, or maybe some things change, so you have the ability to navigate and change it slightly, and it you can get stuff done. That's the thing. You know exactly what to do and at what time. You don't have excuses. So finally, you can just go and do these productive tasks and good habits. Go do your workouts. Go meet with this person, and not waste as much time on the dumb stuff you don't want to waste time on. And also, that's another method to quit bad habits, because you don't have time for them. You schedule literally everything good that you want to do. You want to go on a workout, you want to practice guitar this time for this long, and you want to meet with this person, you want to go outside at this time, you want to put some good clothes on, go to a coffee shop. Do I know what you want to do? Or have some other extra, I don't know, habit, activity, and so on, yourself, with other people, and so on. You can schedule all that, and it's nice. It's really really nice. And you might have this feeling of, oh, but what if it feels like a prison, Sebastian. I want to do what I want. But that's the thing. You want to change. You don't want to just have all this free time using it for bad habits. Imagine what if you use that time, you scheduled some things to do, like, okay, at this time I gotta go to the gym, I gotta eat healthy, I gotta go and do, let's say, stretching, go do a walk outside and listening to some positive, good self-development information, listen to a podcast maybe from Minja Huberman or some other guys, do I know. And it will all be so much better. You'll feel finally good because you actually are doing good things. Your input is good, and your output, the feeling, will be great as well. Good or great. And also the results you get is absolutely amazing. I mean, you develop in so many areas. You get healthier. You begin to feel better. It's awesome. So having a schedule helps you with that, and all these other things that I've been telling you about, right? And having an interesting life, like literally setting some goals, because as I said, if you have a massive goal that is way more interesting to you compared to the bad habits, you will just naturally quit the bad habits eventually. And Charlie Morgan said this one thing: if you have a super meaningful big goal, your behavior will align to it, or something like this. So basically, meaning, okay, if you have a small goal, it won't really work. If you have a big, meaningful goal for you, not setting it because somebody else tells you, oh, this is a cool goal to have. No, what is authentic to you? What do you want? That is, of course, good and healthy, right? You do that, you put that in, you set that goal, and you work on it every day on certain steps, and you feel so much better. For example, with going to the gym, right? Building a great physique. I can put some pictures on the screen. I've been progressing in this area, for example, myself, or entrepreneurship, learning about that. And what else? I mean, social skills, reading books like Dale Carnegie's book, How to Influence and Influence People, and so on. If you want to make friends and meet more people, whatever. There's so many things, and you align your behavior, your habits with the goals that you have, and therefore you'll just turn your attention to that specific activity. And you can have some more interesting things. I mean, make your life interesting so that you get your happiness from that, not pleasure from the bad habits. For example, you can get a musical instrument. I, for example, play guitar. I I have this habit also, well, from time to time, or at least of drawing. Pretty nice, pretty cool, pretty relaxing. Also reading self-development books, going outside, going to the gym. I feel absolutely amazing. And also remember that this, if you go to the gym, your inner state will be exponentially better after that. Your happiness will 10, 20, 50, 100x maybe even. Simply because you just work out. The blood flow starts getting better, your serotonin, your good dopamine, your endorphins rise in the body, and you feel so much better for many hours after that. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. The gym is absolutely magnificent for this, so you can use that trick also. It just works, man. Like, finally get disciplined, get this stuff in, man. You don't want to feel disgusting anymore. You don't want to feel like a loser, man. That's how I felt. I remember feeling guilty and shameful because I was doing these bad habits, man, and lust, having that, and keeping your attention too much on women, and you just feel so bad. It's not a good feeling at all, and you feel sad. Isn't you're not inspired to do anything great. You're just kind of bored and depressed and don't feel like doing anything. And the thing is, you gotta start small, but or big if you can. But if you can't, start at least small with something today. Like, implement something that I told you about. Because, bro, reality is most of the people that watch this video won't even implement this, and it's sad. I mean, for example, with this T graph or whatever it's called that I showed you, that I learned it today. I was about to not do it today, but I told myself, okay, maybe it can actually be helpful. And I tried it, and it really did work. Because this awareness stuff is so powerful. If you're aware of some bad habit, you break the pattern. Because look, a habit is doing something unconsciously. You don't pay truly much attention to it. It's like automatic. So what you gotta do is you become aware of it. It's almost like, if you know this, it's almost like you being in a lucid dream, and if you get too aware, too conscious that, okay, oh, this is a dream. If you get too conscious, it ends. I had that, I don't know if 2 times, but I definitely had it 1 time. I remember I was way younger. This was many years ago, and I remember that had the dream. I was at my grandparents' house in the village, and I dreamt that I was the Avatar, Yang, or yeah, how is his name, right? Having these elements, fire. No, wait, what did I have back then? I think water and fire or wind. I don't know what I was using, and I was literally playing around there, and I just realized, oh wait, I'm in a dream, and I got so excited that the dream ended. That was my first lucid dream, I think. And thing is, that's what you want to do with the bad habits. The more aware you become with them, the more you will gain self-control of them, and the more it will just break this pattern of bad habits. So implement these habits that are good, that I told you about. And also, first link in the description, get my one-to-one help. Let me help you with finally break these bad habits, because I know how it feels, man. It feels disgusting, feels absolutely horrible, and you just want to feel better. You finally want your freedom back. That's exactly what you can do if you finally take some action today. So implement these good habits that I told you about, and Yeah, there we go. Remember, we're limitless because we never peak if we so choose to. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.